Kistler.
If you're just getting into fishing, you want to be the best you can be. If you're already pretty good, you want to be better. Or if you're already better and you want to be the best. In every case, I recommend Kistler Rods. Now, I might be a little biased. My name is Trey Kistler. I could tell you how great these rods are all day long. But it might be easier to hear from these guys who do it for a living every day. Take a look at this.
Hey guys, I'm Jason Kilpatrick from Satsuma, Alabama. God's blessed me with the opportunity to bass fish for a living for the last 4 years. And while on tour, I would say every meaningful fish I've ever landed has been on a low and slow bite. Sure, just like you, I like to catch them on a spinnerbait, I like to catch them on a buzzbait. All that stuff's really fun. But when we go to these highly pressured lakes, a lot of times low and slow is the only way we can land those big ones. You know, and what's important is I need to be able to feel the difference in 3/8 of an ounce. Is it a shade more? Is it a shade lighter? Sometimes these bites are really, really subtle. And I tell you, that was something yesterday with that big bag. The majority of that 19 pounds, I never think or would have thought you could feel them bite. They were so light. And if you're going to fish for a living or you're just going to fish seriously, you need a stick that's it's going to give you all the sensitivity that it can.
Oh, that's a big giant. That's a giant. Oh, that's a... Oh, yeah! Woo! Touchdown, baby! Final drive!
So for me, the sensitivity of Kistler rods is what gives me a clear advantage. I'm able to detect the difference in 3/8 of an ounce. I'm a shade lighter or I'm a shade heavier, it's got to be a fish. Some of these bites are extremely subtle. The other thing is how light the rod is. If I'm going to low and slow all day with a heavy jig or a tube, I need to be able to fish 10 hours a day all through practice and then have no fatigue during the 4 days of the tournament competition. A light rod like Kistler is going to allow me to have zero arm fatigue and ultra sensitivity required to detect these strikes. So whether you're a weekend angler or a touring professional, the advantages are clear. Take a look at what we do out on the water.
Hi, I'm Randy Clark. The 06 FLW season just concluded and the points race were settled. Kistler Pro Scott Martin had a great finish at Champlain and secured 5th in the Angler of the Year race. Kistler Pro Matt Herring had a great finish and came in 2nd. Kistler Pro Anthony Gagliardi secured his first Angler of the Year title, and I emphasize the word first because he's going to win several of them. Let's take a look at why they use Kistler.
Hi, I'm Scott Martin, a professional fisherman on the FLW Tour. You know, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. You know, the Lone Ranger had silver, Roy Rogers had trigger, and I have Champlain gold. You know, I've won over $250,000 with this rod. And 2 years ago on this lake, Lake Champlain, I won the FLW Tour event and won $200,000 with this rod. Trey Kistler at Kistler Rods built this rod especially for me to win this tournament, and now he's made it in a production model. You know, I want to tell you how light and sensitive this rod is. It's absolutely essential. You know, I don't want to be Captain Obvious here, but you have to fish with good equipment. Can you imagine a professional tennis player going to play Wimbledon with an old antiquated tennis racket? It wouldn't happen, and he probably wouldn't win. So you want to fish with the best. This is the most lightest, sensitive rod on the planet, tough and durable, And, you know, whether I'm fishing a big tournament for money, or I'm on Lake Okeechobee on a guide trip, or even taking my boys out to the local pond going fishing, I fish with Kistler Rods. You should too. Might as well fish with the best.
You know, we've heard a lot about the sensitivity and the construction and the lightness of Kistler Rods up to this point. Well, you know, to me, I'm a power fisherman, and I'm not all about lightness and sensitivity. They're great, and they help me do my job. But I'm in your face, in the thickest stuff, big spinner baits, big jigs. They've got to be able to stand up to me, or they just won't cut the grade. That's why I use Kistler Rods. They will cut the grade in the most extreme conditions. Watch me in action, and you'll see why. Like right here, let's see if your rod can withstand the power of a 8-pound 6-ouncer right at the boat. Now that's what I'm talking about. You said they're violent, man. They scared me to death. That others did.
Hi, I'm Anthony Gagliardi, 2006 FLW Tour Angler of the Year. I just completed my best season of my career, in which I was able to capture the Angler of the Year title as well as win a tournament on my home lake, Lake Murray. And I put a lot of hard work and dedication into this title, and the Lord really blessed me well this year, and I have a lot to be thankful for. Two of my favorite features of the rod happen to be two of the most simple. The first of which is the exposed hook hanger. Anybody that fishes a lot of Texas rig style baits knows that when you pull that hook point out of the plastic, it tears a hole and it just destroys the life of the plastic bait. With this, you leave your hook point buried just like you would in any Texas rig and just place the hook shank right over top of this exposed hook hanger, and it's ready to go just like it was when you left it. It's something that they should have done a long time ago in fishing rods. It's very simple, but it's good engineering. The second feature I'd like to talk about is the lack of a foregrip, or what sometimes people call a fighting grip on a rod. It's something that's been around in freshwater rods as long as I can remember, and basically I consider it nothing more than a design flaw. In the past, this foregrip served only as added weight, and it dampened any vibrations that would come down this rod, and that inhibits your ability to feel subtle strikes and detect what your bait's doing underwater. Now, with the absence of this on the Kistler rod, my finger is in the perfect position to be placed right there on the blank. So when those vibrations come down the rod, my finger is the first thing they come in contact with, and that enables me to field strikes, subtle strikes, and detect what my bait's doing. It's another simple thing, another great engineering feature of the Kistler rods, and one of the many reasons that I think you'll find that Kistler rods are the rods for you, except maybe second to this one right here.
I like to say it this way: Kistler builds the lightest, the strongest, most sensitive rods on earth, period.